probably sitting right over top of the fish right now. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. That's what we're after. White bass. All right. Come on. Hold still. Hold still. We're at Hooter Reservoir today, throwing a spinner, catching white bass, having lots of fun. It's the first fish of the day. It's a nice fish. Very good fish. I'm gonna put him back. Thank you, Mr. Fish. And now I'm gonna go to work and catch some more. Ooh, there we go. Oh yeah. Nice white bass. Whoa. You know you got a good white bass when he's pulling drag. Wow, that is a fatty right there. That is a fatty. Oh yeah, it is. That is a fat white bass. Look at the size of that white bass. Goodness, look at that. That is an enormous white bass. I'm just gonna estimate that fish at about 15 to 16 inches. Yeah, that's a really good one right there. Beautiful fish. Wow. Okay. Go. Back. Thank you. Hey everybody out there, I know that you've been asking for a little more instruction in the show, so I thought I'd give that to you in this episode and go over some of the baits that I'm using, or actually the bait that I'm using to catch white bass on today. In today's episode, I'm fishing on drop-offs. The fish were coming out of about 50 feet of water into an area where it was about 15 feet deep. And in order to get a bait down to them, you need something that drops kind of fast. And the bait that I like to use in those circumstances, especially at Hooter Reservoir, is an inline spinner. Yellow is my favorite color. I like to use a 1/6 ounce bait. The 1/6 ounce bait just seems to work better in that 15 to maybe 25 foot depth range where a lot of the fish like to hang out. When I'm using this bait, I always use some reel and line magic and kind of spray the bait down. That way the spinner is always spinning freely when it comes through the water. You're really not going to catch fish if that spinner isn't spinning. Right here I have some different sizes. When the fish go a little bit shallower, use a little bit lighter bait, something not quite as heavy. This is a 1/16 ounce. This bait right here, it's a 1/4 ounce. When they go a little bit deeper and they're in the 25 to 35 foot range, you use that bait right there. The real trick is to keep the bait above the fish. The fish like to come up and hit at the bait. So you want it above them, not below them, because they don't like to go down on the bait as much as they like to come up on it. In some circumstances, you can even throw a small crankbait at them. When they get into like the 8 foot, 4 foot range, you throw a little crankbait at them and have a whole lot of fun. Another bait that I use every once in a while is a blade bait. And the blade baits, they just drop really fast. They're a bait that you work really fast. So when you're searching for the fish and you can't find them, try a blade bait out and you can cover lots and lots of water. So if you take these tips and you use them in your white bass fishing, especially at Hooter, you're going to catch a lot more fish. Now let's get back to the action. we go. Come on, come on. Yep, that's a white bass. You can tell by how he's cutting through the water. There we go. It's a fat one too. Oh yeah. Hold still. When you're catching white bass, you have to be very careful because their fins are extremely sharp and they will cut you if you're not careful. So watch for that fin right there on the top, especially. It's a chunky, fat white bass. He's going back. Thank you. Ooh, I know. Ooh, here we go. Yep, there we go. I felt that fish bump into that bait. Come here. Come over here. I felt that fish bump into that bait the first time. And then the blades on the spinner, they just kind of stopped. That's something that you really have to pay attention to when you're fishing with a spinner. If those blades stopped, perhaps there was something that made them stop. And it's likely it could be a fish. So you always got to look for that. All right. Thank you, Mr. Fish. All right, wash my hands off.
Fishing with Joe is proudly brought to you in part by R&R Bait and Tackle, the best bait and tackle service in the Buckeye State. Check out my favorite web service, EasyWeb.
It's professional, it's affordable, changes anytime you want. Call toll-free 1-877-MyEasyWeb or sign on to 1-877-MyEasyWeb.com.